2001.
Hola, welcome to Butterfly Spanish. Me llamo Ana, and in today's lesson you'll learn to talk about numbers. Okay, well, this lesson is important for 4 reasons, maybe more. First, you can give your phone number. You can ask a phone number. You can give your address. You can ask for an address. You can talk about money. And you can ask how much is it, maybe if you're on vacation. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están? ¿Yo bien? ¿Y ustedes? ¿También? ¿Bien? ¿Más o menos? ¿Más o menos? ¿Más o menos? ¿O más o menos? Muy bien. Yo estoy bien. Y I'd like to thank you for watching my videos. Gracias por ver mis videos. I hope you're learning a lot of Spanish, or maybe a little bit. But I hope that I'm contributing a little seed into your harvest in the brain. Anyway, muy bien. Hoy vamos a ver un tema muy bonito, muy especial. Today we're going to see a very special topic. We're going to talk about years and, for instance, numbers. So, for example, you can say this year is 2017. Estamos en el año 2017. But you can say also, oh, you owe me 2017 pesos, right? You can say, oh, me debes 2017 pesos. So, that's why today I'm going to teach you years and, for instance, numbers. Los años y los números. And the years are important. Los años son importantes porque puedes decir una fecha, because you can say a date. Por ejemplo, puedes decir el año en que naciste, o el año en que nació tu mamá, o tu papá, o tu hijo, o tu hija, etc. You can say the dates for your mother, your father's birthday, or you can say a historical event, right? In 1492, America was discovered and all that stuff. So I hope you find this lesson useful. Vamos a empezar. Muy bien. Voy a empezar con el más reciente, el 2017. 2017. O este año es el 2017. When you're going to say a date, for example, let's say November 18, 2017. Sí. El 18 de noviembre de 2017. De 2017. No del 2017. De 2017. Muy bien. Y se escribe en 3 palabras. 2017. Sí. Aquí hay una C y aquí hay una S. ¿Correcto? Si hablas en España, por ejemplo, no vas a decir 2017, vas a decir 2017 con la... ¿Correcto? Pero como yo soy mexicana, yo digo 2017, así como casi todos los latinos, de hecho todos los latinos. 2017. Muy bien. Vamos a ver 2 ejemplos más. 2001. 2001. Es como decir 2001. Pero yo no voy a decir 2001. 2001. No. 2001. 2001. Sin la I. Without the Y. Sin la I. 2001. Esto es muy importante. Mi borrador. 2001. 2001. Odisea en el espacio. Space Odyssey. In the cinema you didn't see 2001. Odisea en el espacio. No. You saw 2001 without the Y. Muy importante. cabeza. Stick it in your brain. Don't forget. No te olvides de eso. 2001, Odisea en el espacio. So think about that. Oh yeah, when you have the zeros in the middle, you don't say the I. The Y. Sorry, the I. The Y. Okay? When you have the zeros in the middle, you don't say the I1. So you think, oh, Odisea en el espacio, 2001. No, 2001. Suficiente. Y el año 2000. El año 2000. Ya llovió. It's a saying in Spanish. Ya llovió is like, oh, it's been a long time. Ya llovió. I guess it started in places where there was no rain. 2000, el año 2000. Hace mucho tiempo fue el año 2000. Yo era muy joven en el año 2000. Speaking of the ya llovió, 2001, long time ago, ya llovió. Today it's raining. Hoy ha estado lloviendo todo el día. It's been raining. And so I was walking, iba caminando, venía para acá, and I got soaking wet. I was soaking wet. So I had to blow my hair with a dryer. Thankfully, though, somebody had a dryer here because my hair was very messy. Anyway, that's not important, but I like rainy days. Even if you get soaking wet, I like rainy days. They are romantic. Son muy románticos, muy románticos. Vamos a seguir con la clase. Vamos a empezar con los mil. Because I'm not gonna teach you the future because I don't know if you're gonna, like, people are gonna even learn Spanish in the future. So I'm just going to go from 2017 to the past. Por ejemplo, 1999. Voy a decir algunos de estos. I'm gonna go through some of these. And I'm going to emphasize one part. And you're going to hear it. And you're going to find out which part I'm emphasizing. And this is an exercise because I think this is a way where you can learn it and write it properly. Very important. 1999. 1999. 1876. 1876. 1492. 1492. Muy bien. What am I emphasizing here? Well, you're right. The Y. E. Why am I saying this? Well, when you have from 1, 2, like let's say here I wanted to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But you don't have zeros in the middle. You're always going to say the last number adding the Y. For example, 1573. 1573. Why? Because I don't have zeros in the middle, right? I don't have zeros in the middle, so that the last digit is going to be added to the sentence with a Y. Now let's see other examples to draw más conclusiones, more conclusions. Are you following me? Well, I hope you're following me.
Pacha,
I'm
Dina.
getting distracted. Pon atención. Seguimos. Again, I'm gonna go through some of them and you're gonna repeat them. 1310. 1310. Ah, somebody is not here. What is not here?
And with me, of course, Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley. Welcome to Prime Time. Glad you're here. It occurs to me, looking at the two of you, I have got to start by asking how this marriage took place, how it began. Let me guess that it was not over miniature golf and a hot dog someplace. When did it start? When was the dating?
Well, we first met, she was 7 years old and I was
was 17. This was in Las Vegas. She used to come and see my show all the time. We had the only family show on the Strip. It's the Jackson 5. And she used to come as a little girl and sit right up front. She came quite often. She came with a lot of bodyguards. And
Had you stayed in touch over all these
sure,
years?
sure. Then she'd come backstage, and I'd, talk, say hi, and she'd come again. And I thought she was sweet and loving, and I always hoped I'd see her again.
And who first talked about marriage?
We didn't stay in touch.
We didn't stay in touch after that, no.
He go ahead. You want to say what happened?
No,
What
you
did it say?
you have a good memory.
Well, you said you were going to say it.
Our first argument here on this hour. Who proposed? I mean, how did marriage actually get discussed?
Well, at first, this is what happened. When she was 18, I used to tell my lawyer, John Branca, do you know Lisa Marie Presley? He go, well, I represent her mother. I go, well, can you get in touch with her? Because I think she's really cute. He'd laugh every time. He goes, I'll do my best. That's what he'd say. Then he'd come back. I said, well, did you find out? He said, no, there's nothing. So I would worry him about this all the time. The next thing I noticed, there's a picture on a magazine cover where she's married, which really tore me to pieces. And really did, because I felt that was supposed to be me. I really did.
And what was the countdown to your marriage? Tell me who said the word marriage
I did.
first?
He did.
I did.
When? Where?
When
On
we
the
were
telephone.
on the telephone.
He first asked me. When we were dating now, it's 4 months. Right? 4 months?
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, we were spending a lot of time together. I don't know how I didn't manage to get in the press because we weren't hiding it. I was in Las Vegas. We were everywhere. I went to Atlanta. We were in bookstores. We were not hiding it.
And you said yes right away?
I was separated for 4 months, and he said, what would you do if I asked you to marry me? And I said, I would.
A buddy I was, you were really enthusiastic.
I have to ask you this because I can only imagine the number of lawyers involved in a prenuptial agreement between these two fortunes. Is there one? A careful one?
Well, we worked out things and we signed certain things, but of course, that's very confidential.
We made agreements prior, yes.
As you know, the reaction to this marriage, and I know you feel strongly about it, but the reaction to this marriage has been across the spectrum, everything from astonishment to delight to suspicion that it was somehow too convenient. Lisa, did you ask Michael about the charges? Did the two of you talk about the impact of the marriage on the allegations?
Absolutely not. He called, I was in touch with him through the whole process of this charges going on. I was talking to him when he disappeared. I was actually supposed to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico when he left and disappeared, and I got a call that he wasn't going to be there, and I was actually part of the whole thing with him by talking to him on the phone. So I didn't
Say to him, are they true?
No, I didn't. No, I actually did not.
I want to take a minute here, and I'm going to come back to the marriage.
Sorry. He went on and on and on about it, so I didn't really have to say, are the allegations true? It was, on the phone, and
Over and over.
just constant, yeah.
Well, because I know that you've wanted to express similar sentiments for a long time, I want to ask a few things about the charges. But first, I want to establish for the viewers here, there are no ground rules. You have said to me you are not afraid of any questions. So I wanted that understood by everybody before we proceed. I think I want to begin by making sure that the terms are clear. You have said that you would never harm a child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I make. I'm not even interested in that.
And what do you think should be done to someone who does that?
To someone who does that, what I think should be done, I think they need help in some kind of way,
How about the police photographs, though? How was there enough information from this boy about those kinds of things
The police photographs that they took of me, there was nothing that matched me to those charges.
There was nothing that concurred.
That's why I'm sitting here talking to you today. There was not one iota of information that was found that could connect me.
So when we've heard
these
that there was a
charges.
marking of some kind,
No marking,
no marking.
no.
Why did you
Why am I
settle?
still here then?
You're not gonna ask me about that, are you? Sorry, about the markings.
You can volunteer.
No, the point is that when that finally got concluded that there was no matchup, then it was printed this big as opposed to how big it was, what the matchup was supposed to be.
It didn't
And
work.
it never
It isn't so. Why did you
settle the
lie?
case then? Why did you settle the case? And it looks to everyone as if you paid a huge amount of money.
That's, most of that's
To get
folklore. I talked to my lawyers and I said, can you guarantee me that justice will prevail? And they said, Michael, we cannot guarantee you that a judge or a jury will do anything. And with that, I was like catatonic. I was outraged.
How much money?
Totally outraged. So what I said, I have got to do something to get out from under this nightmare. All these lies and all these people coming forward to get paid and these tabloid shows, just lies, 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 lies. So what I did, we got together again with my advisors and they advised me, it was hands down, a unanimous decision, resolve the case. This could be something that could go on for 7 years.
How much
We
money?
said, let's get it behind us.
Can you say how much?
It's not what the tabloids have printed. It's not all this crazy outlandish one. No, it's not at all. I mean, the terms of the agreement are very confidential. I
He's
want to
been
ask.
barred to discuss it. They
The specific
terms,
so it's
specific amount.
The idea isn't fair. What they put me through, because there wasn't one piece of information that says I did that. And anyway, they turned my room upside down, went through all my books, all my videotapes, all my private things, and they found nothing nothing that could say Michael Jackson did this. Nothing.
But let me ask
To
you
this
a
day,
couple of
nothing.
questions.
Still nothing.
Let me ask you.
Nothing.
Nothing. I got nothing. As you may or may not know, we have called everyone we can call. We have checked everything we can check. We have gone and tried to see if what we heard before is in fact the case. I want to ask you about two things. These reports that we read over and over again, that in your rooms they found photographs of young boys, not
Little
adults,
boys, just children, all kind of girls and everything.
then that they found photographs of books of young boys who were undressed.
No.
Didn't happen.
No, not that I know of, unless people send me things that I haven't opened. People know my love for children, so they send me books from all over the world, from South America, from Germany, from Italy, from Sweden.
So people say that they found those things, that there's an indication, let them come forward, let them produce them, right?
Yeah, because I get all kind. You wouldn't believe the amounts of mail that I get. If you say to somebody, if I let the fans know I love Charlie Chaplin, I'll be swarmed in Charlie Chaplin paraphernalia. If I say I love children, which I do, they swarm me with everything pertaining to kids.
Any other settlements in process now or previously with children making these kinds of claims? We have heard that there is one, not a case that the prosecutors would bring in court, but that once again, you're talking about shelling out.
No, that's not true. No, it's not true. I think I've heard everything is fine if there are no others.
I guess, let me ask this, and I'm trying to think how to phrase it though. I can hear out in the country people saying, and you've been clear of all the charges, you want to make that clear. People saying, look, here's a man who's surrounded by things that children love. Here's a man who's been an inordinate amount of time with these young boys.
Right.
What is a 36-year-old man doing sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them?
Right. Okay, when you say boys, it's not just boys, and I've never invited just boys to come in my room. Oh, that's ridiculous. And that's a ridiculous question. But since people want to hear it, the answer, I'll be happy to answer it. I have never invited anyone into my bed, ever. Children love me, I love them, they follow me, they want to be with me. But anybody can come in my bed. Child can come in my bed.
I can say, sorry, I've seen this. I've seen it a lot. I've seen kids. I've seen him with children in the last year. I've seen it enough to where I can see how that can happen. It's, I understand.
Isn't part of being an adult, and you have a 2-year-old child, 2-year-old boy.
No, let me just,
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I've seen these children, they don't let him go to the bathroom without running in there with them. And they won't let him out of their sight. So when he jumps in the bed, I'm even out. They jump in the bed with him.
But isn't part of being an adult and loving involving children, keeping children from ambiguous situations. And again, we're talking about over an intense period of time here. Would you let your son, when he grows up and is 12 years old, do that?
You know what? If I didn't know Michael, no way. But I happen to know who he is and what he is, and that makes it. You know, I know that he's not. You know, I know that he's not like that, and I know he has a thing for children. And go ahead. Sorry.
I just wonder, is it over? You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. I think this is really one of the things people want to know, that there are not going to be more of these sleepovers in which people have to wonder.
Nobody wonders when kids sleep over at my house.
But are they over? Are you going to watch out for it?
Watch out for
just
what?
for the sake of the children and for
No, because
everything
it's
you've been through.
all moral and it's all pure. I don't even think that way. It's not what's in my heart.
So you
I would
do it
never,
again.
ever do it again.
I mean, you'll have a child
Of
sleeping over.
course. They want it.
Yes.
It's on the level of purity and love and just innocence, complete innocence. If you're talking about sex, and that's a nut. That's not me. Go to the guy down the street, but it's not Michael Jackson. It's not what I'm interested in.
Okay, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Elizabeth Taylor talked to us a little bit about what she saw when she went over and talked to you in the middle of this and helped you get treatment for addiction to painkillers. As we said, Elizabeth Taylor is going to talk a little bit about when she came to see you in the middle of this, what she called agony. One of the things she was so angry about with us was that she said people always talk about one side of a person, they never give them credit for their accomplishments, particularly what they give to children and the money you give to children. That's how it starts.
When he's on tour, he goes to hospitals without the press following it, without anyone knowing. He'll get up in a disguise and do it, take his disguise off when he's there, and kids know, wow, it's Michael Jackson.
Was there no point at which you said to yourself, reading everything everybody had been reading, maybe this is true, maybe I completely didn't understand who he was?
No way. Absolutely not.
Never.
Never. I know Michael's heart. I know his mind and his soul. I'm not that insensitive. Especially to him or people I love.
How did you decide to go to Singapore?
He was my friend. He was alone. He was totally alone. And he just, he needed help. Nothing in the world could have hurt him more. If it had been calculated, if they planned an assassination, they couldn't have done it any better. It almost broke his heart.
She says she recognized a friend turning to painkillers for escape.
He wasn't aware of what was happening. He was dulling his pain. But it really frightened me because I have been there. And I know how easy it is to get there when you're in mental or physical pain.
And he knew right away that he had to deal with it too.
Not right away. Not right away, but he knew.
There were some reports during this period, Michael, that it was such agony for you that you were actually suicidal. Is that true?
I was never suicidal. I love life too much to ever be suicidal. I'm resilient. I have rhinoceros skin. Never ever suicidal.
Did it leave you, though,
Heartbroken, but not suicidal.
did it leave you changed completely? I've talked to you a little bit about what you're thinking about, where you want to live in the world. Did it change your view about living here? Are you thinking about living someplace else?
I don't care to stay in America anymore, no. I don't care. I will always have Neverland, you know, because I love Neverland. But I don't like, I'm very sensitive to the smog. You know, so I can't have the smog. And I would like to go abroad. But in fact, I am.
You are?
Where? Oh, I haven't decided exact place yet. Probably South Africa.
To live permanently.
Maybe Switzerland.
Lisa, are
Can
you
we just
in
change?
favor of it?
Wait, just go into the fact that we don't live in separate houses to start.
Yeah,
This
this is just
is ridiculous. Anyway, sorry.
No, jump in.
What do I feel about the overseas thing? I think that it's a nice place to visit, yes. I would like to have a house over there. completely, utterly harassed beyond belief, but
We have some wedding video of the two of you, and I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here. If our director, Roger Goodman, wants to roll it in, we will take you there a year ago, right? Just about exactly.
I look like an idiot, I can tell you that.
You don't look like an idiot. You look more like a, no.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
Tell us.
Oh, we're watching.
Tell us, we're watching here live.
And then they asked for the autograph. Like, but never have time.
So, I know that you, Lisa Marie, have wanted to talk about this. There are a lot of doubters about this marriage. I've heard that it's a Scientology plan. You were a member of the Church of Scientology, which is said to influence its members greatly, and that the husband you divorced was Scientologist, and he's still very much in your life, and this is all part of a calculation to get Michael and his money into the church.
It's crap. I'm sorry. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm not. First of all, you can't get influenced by anything like that. And I'm under a term of a marriage. I'm not going to marry somebody for any reason other